protect. That's what a police officer is supposed to do. That's what the good ones all do. That's what Bob Kramer did as a patrolman before he was fired by the city of Pittsburgh. And he did his job well. So well that after 4 years on the job, Bob was asked to, Bob, who had never been the subject of any civilian complaint or any internal complaint, was asked to step up to a better position in the police department, one of greater responsibility. His commanding officer approached him to become a neighborhood resource officer in one of the city's most troubled neighborhoods. But all that was before he was charged with a crime that he did not commit. After concluding our investigation this morning, my office filed a federal civil rights action in the United States District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania on behalf of Officer Robert Kramer. The named defendants include the City of Pittsburgh, Mayor William Peduto, Chief Scott Schubert, Detective Edward Green, and former Commander Shirley Epperson. After a woefully inadequate investigation into an alleged road rage incident where Officer Kramer supposedly brandished a firearm at a Mr. Jesse Smith, Detective Green and Commander Epperson charged my client with a crime he did not commit, and they did so without probable cause. The affidavit of probable cause, prepared by Detective Green and authorized by Commander Epperson, failed to include exculpatory evidence which would have showed that Officer Kramer was innocent of these charges. This exculpatory evidence was known to Detective Green and was known to Commander Epperson at the time that they brought these charges. Included in the evidence that they didn't tell the judge about was evidence that Mr. Smith, Mr. Jesse Smith, who made these claims, could not identify Officer Kramer in a valid photo array which contained Officer Kramer's image. The affidavit of probable cause, which was required to include this information, did not include the information that Mr. Smith had posted online a video which, by all accounts, showed that he had a sincere hatred for the police department. The comments made by Mr. Smith, which are detailed in the federal complaint that we filed this morning, show that he had an animus against police officers. He made fun of the police officers in that video, and he made it clear how he felt about the police in general. This evidence was not brought to the judge by either Detective Green or Commander Epperson. The video also contained a description by Mr. Smith of what happened in this alleged incident. And in this video, Mr. Smith contradicts other statements that he has made in this case. In fact, Mr. Smith has made many conflicting statements about what allegedly occurred here. I want you to listen to this part carefully. All of the police officers who were involved in the decision to charge my client with a crime knew about the video, about Mr. Smith's view of the police, and about how many times he contradicted himself about what occurred in this case. Despite the knowledge that Detective Green and Commander Epperson had about the innocence of my client, who is a veteran police officer with a stellar, spotless reputation, they nevertheless brought charges of simple assault